What would you think if you experienced knockings, bangings, random unexplainable odors, electrical appliances catching fire, shadow figures, furniture moving like chairs, table just moving, you can't explain it, voices calling family members by name, just voices. You're walking down the hallway, you hear this voice call a name, a dog or pet being attacked, being injured by an appliance? Well, let's talk about that. Jack and Janet Smurl. This is the Smurl haunting. Let's look through what they claimed, what evidence was provided, and what we should actually think about this. So let's start with the background on how everything started. After their home was damaged by flooding caused by the remnants of Hurricane Agnes, Jack and Jeanette Smurl moved with their family into a duplex at 330 Chase Street in West Pittston, Pennsylvania in 1973. Within the next few years, they claimed increasingly disturbing paranormal activity began occurring in the home. And those are the things that they said, alleged, happened. Strange knocking and banging, unexplained foul odors, electrical appliances catching fire and malfunctioning, shadow figures in black masses, furniture moving, voices calling family members by name. Their dog was allegedly thrown against a wall. One of the daughters was injured reportedly when a ceiling light fixture fell. Jack and Jeanette both claimed they experienced physical and sexual assaults by an unseen entity. During the investigation, they concluded, this is Ed and Lorraine Warren. They became involved in 1986, concluded that there was one elderly female spirit, one young girl, one deceased man, and one violent demonic entity controlling the others. Ed Warren claimed he experienced a sudden temperature drop, a black mass forming, objects moving, unexplained knocking, and alleged audio recordings of paranormal sounds. That one I find the most interesting is the recording audios. The case became famous in 1988 through the book The Haunted, 1991, The Haunted movie, 2025, The Conjuring, of course. So, the skeptics, let's look at what their ideas are. Paul Kurtz, founder of the Committee for the Scientific Investigation of Claims of the Paranormal, called the case, and I quote, a hoax, a charade, and a ghost story. He suggested psychological or medical explanations should be investigated instead. So one of the biggest problems that comes with these paranormal happenings in these houses is people go in there, and you see this all the time on YouTube. You got all these different ghost hunters. They go into a supposedly haunted area, and they hunt for demons. Pause. Think about that. These hunters and even skeptics go into these places looking for demons, looking for spirits, ghosts, etc. Some sort of supernatural or paranormal experience. That's what they're going to look for. Think about that. What does that do to your mind? You're going in somewhere and you're preparing to experience something paranormal. You're going in expecting to hear sounds. You're going in expecting to see shadows. You're going into this place most likely with the lights off. Pareidolia totally has nothing to do with that. And you are causing sensory deprivation to some degree. Less lights. Lots of people do things where they put on earmuffs or something to the degree. You make it hard to see. What happens in the dark? Fight or flight. You can't see danger, so you're automatically on edge and prepared for a potential danger. If you can't see it, your other senses get raised. You're able to hear more. So you go into these buildings with the expectation of an experience to some degree. You make it to where it's harder to see, and your other senses kick in with the confirmation bias of expecting an experience. Along with Paul Kurtz, he also said Jack Smurl had previously, this is the important part, Jack Smurl had previously undergone brain surgery related to complications from meningitis, and he had experienced neurological problems. Let's think about that. He had brain surgery, and neurological problems, which of course skeptics suggested could have influenced some of the experiences. What a shock. More recently, skeptical investigator Kenny Biddle argued there was no independent, verified physical evidence for the haunting and criticized the Warrens for preventing scientific investigators from examining the home during their involvement. Think about that as well. The Warrens prevented scientific investigators. Sounds like a cash grab. All right, so was there any actual physical evidence? The claims involved witness testimony from family members, the audio recordings, of course, of knocks, photographs, interviews, which we can lump the interviews back in with witness testimony, and media coverage. No publicly available evidence has been accepted by scientists as demonstrating paranormal activity. What does that mean? It means that through any scientific rigor, they could not find any causal mechanism that suggested something paranormal, which could mean some things were unexplained. Fair enough. But it also means that they found natural explanations for everything, natural causes. Much of the evidence consists of eyewitness testimony rather than independent, verifiable recordings or repeatable observations. So, what happened afterwards? Subsequent occupants of the house reported that they did not experience paranormal phenomenon. So, you have this couple, one of them has neurological problems and had a brain surgery, and they're experiencing these paranormal seeming things going on in their house. Right? No scientist is able to get in there and test it. Their evidence is hearsay. They're just saying they experienced this. They have audio recordings that are not tested or independently verified at the very least. And then afterwards, when they move out and new people move into the house, there's no more paranormal activity. Kind of seems fraudulent. So, this is what happens when we actually look into paranormal experiences. When you think about them skeptically, critically, it falls apart very quickly. You start noticing things like, okay, this person said that they experienced this. Plot twist, that person has a neurological problem. Twist, this person has some sort of schizophrenia. Plot twist, all of the evidence that they supposedly had is not verified, is not critiqued. On top of that, no scientist is allowed in to test things or to examine and look around, except for the other people that do believe. The Warrens were believers. They were allowed in there. Yeah, confirmation bias. So this is one of those things where there's absolutely no evidence justifying the belief that this was truly paranormal. All of the testing came up null and or completely debunked by finding natural mechanisms for causing the effects of whatever's happening. For instance, a chandelier falling. Plot twist, old house. Loose wirings, loose bolts, whatever it may be that's holding it in place, falling apart already, finally gives way. You know, you never know. Got to think about things critically. My next question to this is, if you experience this, some of this stuff happens in your house, what are your first thoughts, and how do you go about testing it, critiquing it, examining, investigating? Are you going in with an open mind? Are you going in with the mind that you're expecting to experience something? Do you already believe in it? Or do you not believe in it? How do you go about investigating something like this? Because according to everything that we're able to read about this specific instance, it's all debunked and very not justified to believe as paranormal to any degree at all. Very hoaxy, very cash money grabby. Let me know what you guys think. Comment below and subscribe if you haven't already.